Your brain is making you waste months of your life, and it's time to stop. Now, the biggest problem is the age of information that we're all in, where we can spend days, weeks, months, even years planning and researching and learning things without ever getting started. And so in this video, I want to help you break your brain's tendency to want to learn as much, because we're in this age of information, and help it be okay with getting just enough so that you can get started and actually make progress on what matters to you. Now, the first thing I want us to cover is information overload. And I know that's something you've experienced before, whether you had a name for it or not. But what this is, and this is new, is basically you have so much access to information that you want to keep learning as much as you can with all this information that you get overwhelmed, you get paralyzed, and nothing gets done. And that's what happened to me like not too long ago. I remember I wanted to learn how to do a pull-up, and I spent literally weeks researching videos on how to do a pull-up, what workouts you should do before so you can build the strength to do a pull-up, what stretches you should do. Like, I was making plans. I was making comprehensive workout plans. I'm getting clips of stretch videos so that when I go to practice, then I can already have my videos and just do it. But what happened was I ended up spending weeks not going into the gym. So I want to learn how to do a pull-up. And one of the most important things to learning how to do a pull-up is doing it. But I wasn't doing anything. I hadn't even stepped foot in the gym because I was too busy trying to learn as much as I could to get the perfect plan. But once I realized what I was doing, I was like, okay, I need to make a dumb, stupid plan. And so what I did was I told myself, I'm going to go to the gym and do push-ups, do dead hangs, and then try to do a pull-up. That's it. I don't want to overcomplicate this at all. And so the next day, I finally got into the gym. And after a week of me doing just push-ups, dead hangs, and trying to do a pull-up, my plan naturally evolved. And I was able to get back in the gym after that week of just doing the easiest things with a better plan, because I had spent that time building that momentum that allowed me to figure out what I need to put more attention on, and then do that. And eventually I got the pull-up. Now, I didn't get a pull-up from learning every single thing, because I'd already done that and it didn't do anything for me. I didn't go to the gym. It was only when I said, okay, I don't really know much, but I know I just need to practice it. So I'm just gonna do push-ups, dead hangs, practice pull-up. That was when I finally got the pull-up, because I was doing something with what I knew. And once what I knew turned out to not be enough because I wasn't getting the pull-up, I was able to add a little bit more information, get enough, and then try again. Now, I want you to look at this word or this sentence that's popping on the screen. This sentence is only showing 40% of letters, but just off a glance and a few seconds of you looking at it, you're able to figure it out. So you didn't have all the facts, you didn't know everything, but you had enough for your brain to fill in the gaps for you to figure out the rest. And that's literally what will happen when you start approaching things with a dumb, simple plan instead of trying to over prepare and plan. Your brain is naturally going to fill in the things you don't know. And if you don't know it, then you'll learn, oh wait, I don't know this thing, but this is important for me. So now I can figure out how can I do this thing and then keep going. That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be you starting out with what you have and then filling in the rest as you go. Now, you have a choice here in this very moment. You can continue being the person who needs to know every single thing and won't move until you got it all figured out, which means you'll never get started, and you're going to reach the end of your life wondering why you never did what mattered to you most. Or you can be the people who know what they want and say, well, what can I do right now? They figure out just enough, and then they get started and they get things done, right? So I want you to reflect right now. And I want you to think about an idea you had and tell me, did you actually get started on that thing? Or did you plan and research and learn as much as you could and just completely forget the idea and just not get around to it? Is that something you've done? Let me know in the comments. Or have you figured out what you want to do and said, okay, what's enough? and then you get started. Let me know who you are. Are you the person who's stuck in this information overload, or are you able to get enough and get started going? Now, if you're a person that's stuck in information overload, if that's you, don't worry. I'm going to give you 2 things that you can do right now, like throughout this video. Like as we're going through it, you can do it with me. That will help you finally get started. And the first thing I want you to do, and literally do this with me, this is so important. I want you to think about 1 to 3 of the most important things you can do on your goals. And just write it down. What's 1 to 3 things, the most important things you can do to make the most progress on your goals, and write it down. So, for instance, let's say you decided a goal is to write a book. Well, what's the most important things, 1 to 3, that comes to your mind instantly? Well, for me, it's write. In fact, that's the only thing that comes to my mind for writing a book. Just write. Okay, well, what if you decide, oh, I've always wanted to become better at cooking. I want to put more time into that. Okay, what's the 1 to 3 most important things you can do to get better at cooking? Cook. Now, this is the first thing that comes to my mind. I'm just giving you an example. Cook. Make sure you have the essential ingredients in your apartment, in your home, so that you make it easier to cook. And that's it. Cook and have the ingredients needed to cook. So this doesn't have to be hard. Like literally just think, what can you do? It's common sense. This should not take you long. Now once you figured out what are the actions you gotta take, the next step is write down the plan for when you're gonna do those actions. And this can be an event plan or a time-based plan. So for example, going back to reading or writing, like I said, want to get into writing more, the most important action is writing. So what could be a plan to get you to write? Well, we compare writing with an event. An event is something you already do. So for instance, mine can be eating breakfast. And this is something I actually did. I told myself, before I can have breakfast, something I already do, an event, I have to write. So then whenever I thought about eating breakfast, I thought, oh wait, that was my cue to write. So then I finally wrote and became the person who's filled up notebooks by hand. I ghost wrote a book for an entrepreneur. I mean, writing is essential to me. I write every single day. This notebook is actually full of stories that I've every single page is full of stories that I've written. Like I am a writer. So that's event-based. But what about time-based? Time-based is something we all know. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. But for instance, I said wanting to get into cooking as your goal for an example. I could say, okay, well, at 6 p.m., that would be when I cook. And it's as simple as that. So right now, pause the video. What is it you want to do? What is your goal? Now, what are 1 to 3 things that come to the top of your mind that you can do to make the most progress on your goal, and then write down when you'll do it. You compare that with an event or a time. And please do not make this plan OD. You want to make sure that the first week you're doing this, the actions, it takes less than 2 minutes to do. So for going back to the writing example, it would be, okay, I want to write 1 word a day. Less than 2 minutes, 1 word a day. As for cooking, how can I make it less than 2 minutes to cook? It could be, okay, I'm gonna buy food that's already pre-packaged and then just warm it up so that I can build the habit of going into the kitchen and finding things to cook. So you really want to make it really simple, really easy. And the reason I'm saying make it easy is because if you make it too hard in the beginning, especially when you aren't used to doing it, you are literally going to fall off. When you feel lazy and you told yourself for the rest of the week you're gonna write 500 words, you'll cook a full course meal, when it's time to do that, you're not going to do it because that's just too much for you. Now, I've already given you some examples of actions that you could do, and I've shown you how easy it can be. What about with YouTube though? Because I'm consistently posting on YouTube. What are my 1 to 3 YouTube actions? What do you think they are? For me, it's record videos, upload videos. That's literally all I do. I record videos and upload videos with the belief that if I do this consistently, I will find the people who want to work with me, and I'll be financially stable at some point in time. Now think about Beyonce. What is she known for? Singing. Think about the late Steve Jobs. What was he known for? Apple. Think about Kobe. What was he known for? Basketball. These high achievers got that way because they focused on a small amount of things and gave the all to it. And that's what I want you to do. Focus on a small amount of things. And just to hold yourself accountable, write down your goal and the 1 to 3 actions you're going to take in the comments. It's important that you put in this effort now. Don't push it off until later, because if you don't put in the effort, you're not going to see any change. So whatever you wrote down, the next step you want to do is, if you wrote down your goal and the actions you'll take, put it on your notes app. Take a screenshot and make that your wallpaper. And I'll show you an example of how that can be. But if you didn't put it down on your notes app and instead you wrote down your goals and your behaviors on a piece of paper, then just keep that piece of paper in your pocket or put it somewhere you'll always see it. Maybe that could be on top of your pillow. Maybe that can be next to your phone, so when you reach out, you can always see that. But you just want to have that reminder that you have this goal and these are the behaviors you're going to do, and this is when you're going to do it, and you're only going to do it for like 2 minutes. Later on, when you get used to consistently showing up, then you can increase how much time you spend doing it. But right now, just no more than 2 minutes. Now, once you have everything written out, you've got your wallpaper on, you've got the paper in your pocket, whatever you choose to do, think about what you need to bring closer to you. So for example, if you said you want to practice skateboarding, make sure your skateboard is somewhere in your vicinity. It could be in your room, it could be right by your door, it can be by the front door, it can be in the living room, somewhere you can see it. If you want to cook more, make sure your ingredients are somewhere you can easily grab it. And not only that, but you want to move away the things that will make it harder for you to do what you want to do. For me, one of the biggest things I've done, I made the biggest change in how productive I am and how less distracted I am, is that I deleted all of my apps off my home screen. Not off my phone, but off my home screen. So now when I get on my phone, I don't see any apps, so I'm not distracted. I'm not gonna immediately fall victim to just being stuck into my phone. And so that allows me to be bored by my phone and say, well, what else can I do? Well, I can read, I can write. And because I have those things around me, like I have my writing pad around me, I can just get right into it. So for you, maybe you said you want to go skateboarding, right? But the problem is you spend too much time playing the game. Well, put your game controller in the top of your closet. So now when you want to play the game, you got to go get the controller. Because you're lazy, you won't feel like it, so then you'll decide, oh, okay, well, let me just go skateboarding because it's already there. You're feeling me? The biggest thing is, if your plan isn't made, I promise you're going to stay in the same spot you are. Nothing's going to change for you. It's these small things high achievers do to allow themselves to be more intentional and live their days how they want, rather than living their days just off the whims of how they feel in the moment. Because how you feel 9 times out of 10 is you don't want to do much. You want to lay around and be comfortable. There's a gnat in this space, and it's got to die. And it's so crazy because I saw this gnat earlier in the bathroom, and I said, I got to kill it, but I don't feel like it. And now it's in here messing up my space. That's crazy. But anyway, make the plan. Do it. And you might be worried about picking the wrong actions, but I can tell you the worst action you can pick is waiting. So just pick something. And if it is wrong, then just reevaluate it. It's not anything difficult. You may want to do more than 1 to 3 actions, but I really recommend you only do 1 to 3. Don't do more, because the more you try to do, the less you'll actually get done. And I could explain it more, but I don't want this video to be too long, so I'll just keep it at that. Now, if you made your plan, I promise you will see progress happening in your life. You'll be more intentional about how you show up, and you'll be less likely to waste your time on things that don't matter. You'll know enough, and you'll get started, and things will happen for you. And if you want to learn more about the things that are secretly holding you back and how you can show up more intentional in life, go ahead and subscribe to me, because I make more videos like this every week to help you level up in life. And I'll see you in the next video.